Welcome to Culture Bite. I'm Kevin, and today I'm going to do an episode 2 of She-Hulk breakdown. So let's get started. We begin this episode with a quick recap of the last events of She-Hulk. Now, I noticed something real quick. Not sure if I ever noticed it before, but you can see Natasha and Yelena in the V of the Marvel logo. And that's it. Stop talking about the Marvel logo now. This is when we start to hear news reports on the courtroom brawl that occurred between Titania and She-Hulk, and we discover that Titania is actually a super-powered influence. We know that because of the headline of the first reporter, and we even see sketches of the brawl that occur. And this is something that is actually done in courtrooms. They actually perform some type of sketch of what is occurring, because there's not really supposed to be any photographers or anything like that. We see in the following headline that Titania's lawyers say the entire incident is a misunderstanding and the result of low blood sugar. Damn, she needs a Snickers. Which makes you wonder if this was all a ploy from Holloway to get Jennifer fired, as he did tell her that they had GLKNH B, and that's why he had to call a mistrial. Next scene, we can see that Jen is hiding at a bar called Legal Phase, I think. I couldn't really make out what this fancy letter is, so please, if anyone knows, leave a comment below. But you can hear chanting for She-Hulk outside, and Jen decides to finally let everyone in, and she turns into her She-Hulk form. This is when Dennis shows up and is upset. I'm assuming that Jen is a superhero because he says, "How did you do that?"
I really don't feel like talking about it.
Nepotism. You knew it.
Oh, take a lap, Dennis.
There's a hot chick over there. I'm gonna go talk to it.
When Nikki says Jen is a superhero, she says that she's not. And she starts asking the real questions like, do the Avengers get paid? Do they get health insurance? Is there any paternity leave? Come on. Jen's boss shows up and requests us to speak with her in Jen form. And remember now, folks, Jen has been drinking. So since she changed back, her metabolism shifted and all that alcohol hit her right away in the head, and she just almost fell and everything just because of all the alcohol she has drinking while she was in She-Hulk form. He tells her that since her transformation in the courtroom, their whole case against GLKNH had gotten unraveled, and it provided enough evidence for a mistrial because Jen saved the jury when Titania threw a bench at the jury. And she said, what am I supposed to do? Just let them die? Let them get crushed? And it's just it's really a rock in a hard place, in a sense. Jen starts to apply to different jobs, and we can just see a few different scenes where she just gets turned away by everyone. And some people even call her a distraction. And I'm assuming because of her She-Hulk status, as people can see this as favoritism in the courtroom if she ever has to present herself in front of a jury. Who wouldn't want to just be on the side of the superhero in a sense. Now she's home with Nikki looking at a website that has the 10 offbeat jobs for a fresh start. And there's a QR code next to the title. And if you scan that QR code, Marvel has given us another free copy, and this time of 2004 issue 1 of She-Hulk, where Jen loses her job in the comics and when Holloway gives her a job, as he does later in this episode. The first fresh start on the list is a Swiss Village mascot, and it reads, have you ever wanted to pack everything up and start a new life in a cozy village straight out of a storybook? Now that dream can become a reality because a Idyllic Swiss hamlet has posted a new unique job listing for a town mascot. It's a full-time permanent position and even comes with a housing in the town square. Wow. That just sounds amazing. Where can I sign up, honestly? If you also look at the top, you can see fun movies, Find Ant-Man, Cars, Norse mythology, Avengers, Insanity, and then I'm not really sure what this last word says. If we look around on this page as well, you can see an advertisement for Iron Man 3s. We see a few related articles, and one of them reads, man fights with metal claws in a bar brawl. Now, does this mean Wolverine is confirmed in the MCU? This might be the biggest confirmation yet that our bub Logan is within the MCU. And finally, they finally address the biggest thing that I've always been questioning every single show, as the next article reads, why is there a statue of a man sticking out of the ocean? We now have some type of acknowledgement of the events of Eternal actually did happen. Thankfully, it's been freaking a year now and we finally got a confirmation. This is when Jen gets a text message from her mother, and you can see that her wallpaper is America's ass. Something is truly going on between Jennifer Walters and Steve Rogers' ass, and we can see her mother text her to remind her of the family dinner that she had later that night. We did get a clip of this family dinner the other day. We meet cousin Ched, Morris Walter, Elaine Walters, Uncle Tucker, and Aunt Rebecca. Her dad even asks if Hawkeye picks up his own arrows or just leaves them around. Like what? But later, Jen's dad asked her to join him in the garage to see if she's okay and to start to roast Bruce because he did a little bit more destruction than Jen did in terms of destroying the city, and she didn't.
This isn't even the first time we've had to deal with a Hulk in the family. And you didn't destroy a city.
And I just think it's awesome that we're getting some cool dads in these TV series. Jen is at a bar when Holloway approaches her and offers her a drink and tells her that she really had a strong case against them and even offers her a job. She accepts and tells her that she wants to hire her own paralegal when Holloway just says he doesn't care who she hires. And it's just funny because he even tells her that she starts on Monday like they did in the comics. When Jen arrives, Holloway explains to her that she will be the head of the superhero division that they are making, and she is going to be the face for it. But he wants She-Hulk to be the face for it. So he tells her that at work and in the courtroom, she needs to be in She-Hulk form. This is when Jen breaks the fourth wall again and tells the audience that she's upset that she got the job only because of her Hulk status. And you can't really tell if Holloway can actually hear her when she's speaking because he just goes on rambling and even says something about money, which is kind of interesting, this fellow named Holloway. Someone that actually has quite a Captain America comic collection. It's quite impressive, my good sir. Jen finally gets to her office, and it looks like she gets actually a great ass office. I'm not going to complain. Even Nikki is there telling her that she gets all these perks for being She-Hulk. But Jen does not enjoy that whatsoever. But that's when they get interrupted when Pug, played by Josh Shigera, is also part of her division. And it's kind of weird that he's a lawyer in this show because last time I saw him as a lawyer, he was on Arrow and he was playing the villain, so it's kind of interesting. But he gives them a map to the best bathroom for pooping, which we've all been there, right? Holloway calls Jen to his office and she's ready to take on any case, but Holloway wants to give her Emil Blonsky, aka the Abomination, as her first case, which she tries to decline, but Holloway assures her that she needs to take this case or no job for her. And she even says that there's a conflict of interest, but he tells her that Emil has signed off on the conflict of interest and still wants her to represent him. So she goes and visits Blonsky at the DODC prison, and they don't really have a name for it, and I don't really think that this is the raft because the raft was out in the ocean, but they tell her that she needs to power down and she has to sign basically a waiver saying that, you know, it's okay if Blonsky just crushes her or something, because they feel like, you know, Blonsky's very dangerous, even though when she like pulls up and just says hi, he says namaste. So he seems pretty chill now. Jen is shocked that Blonsky isn't in the Abomination form, as he explains he is a whole new person and he learned how to control his transformation and he simply chooses not to be Abomination no more. Emil explains how he is a Russian-born, British-raised Royal Marine Commando on a loan to the US government. That he says that he had nothing personal against the Hulk. That yes, he did want to kill him, but that was only because of direct orders by the US government, which we do know that Thunderbolt Ross did give him this, you know, kind of go out there and get him. He says his events in Harlem wasn't just of his own. They pumped him full of the super soldier serum, and he even got a mix of Hulk's blood, which kind of just was was an abomination basically. And he even says that he thought he would be the good guy and honestly wanted to be like Captain America. And this is actually kind of sad because it kind of shows the parallels between him and John Walker, just two guys being tricked by their own government. And it's just crazy how Blonsky feels like he was going to be the hero, but he feels like now Bruce is the hero while Blonsky's all locked up. Gets a call from Holloway saying she has till the end of the day to give him an answer. She gives a call to Bruce and you can see that he has her on his phone as Fuzzball. She starts to speak to him about Blonsky and having to take the case possibly, and he understands the fact that she wants to take the case, and he tells her that him and Emil are actually fine, that he gave him a letter and a nice haiku, and that honestly, you know, the fight between them both was so long ago that he's a completely different person when Jen looks at the camera and actually gives a little laugh, which makes me think if she knows herself that Edward Norton was her original cousin, I guess. But slowly you can see the camera back up as Jen asks if Hulk is ever going to come through LA. And he says that he's got some business to handle first, as you can see that he's on a spaceship heading to space. The phone call with Bruce gets cut off, and Jen decides to call in Holloway and tells him that she's taking the case. And he's glad that she's taking it, but also tells her to turn on the news. As we can see on the news channel, footage was leaked from the fight that occurred in Shang-Chi between the Abomination and Wong. And this ends. There is an end credit scene, and it's basically just her helping around with some family chores around the house, just trying to get some things done. And I guess her dad just trying to really test her to her limits and everything. It's kind of funny. I like that. I like that. Thank you all for tuning in for my breakdown. If you guys enjoy what you guys are watching, please leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and drop a comment in the comment section if you guys think I missed anything. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @ThatKevGuy. And you can also follow Culture Byte on Twitter and Instagram as well at Culture Byte. Thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.